Hey guys, so it's week 11 and that means crunch time. I'm Alyssa Martin and this is your UOW TV update. As part of International Volunteers Week, Illawarra In-Home Support has held a Volunteers Expo in Kiama. Shannon Kelleher has the story.
Members of the Illawarra community have gathered to celebrate volunteers working in our region.
They play a very important part in our community. Without them, the life here would be much poorer generally. They add a richness to the way in which the community operates, and they add a lot of light and value to many people's lives.
Illawarra In-Home Support is a non-profit organisation that relies on volunteers to provide a range of services.
Our community is ageing. The demand for services is going to be higher. They do a fabulous job, and without them we couldn't provide the services that we provide them. We wouldn't have the resources to use paid workers.
One of the jobs is using this trusty little bus, taking a group of disabled people out.
I get to meet a lot of them, and over the time with them, they become friends really. You enjoy their company and they're a lot of fun.
Howard drives elderly people to their medical appointments. He says that taxi fares from Gerringong to Kiama could cost up to $60.
But they've still got a smile on their face and quite happy to talk. And you've done something for them, you got them home and you're giving them a little bit of an outing.
Shannon Kelleher, UOW TV.
Did you ever wonder what an arts degree could do for you? Maybe Prime Minister or Westpac CEO. There are more opportunities than you might think. Free food and a lively UOW jazz band help the Faculty of Arts recognise their highest achieving students. The Dean of Arts says graduates from the faculty are employable in many areas.
They have general skills that are really applicable to a number of different professional careers.
And the hard work of the students has paid off.
We are extremely proud. They have worked very hard over a long period in subjects where they are able to go into depth.
The students are confident about their futures and graduating with an arts degree.
I sort of want to do something creative, like become a writer or filmmaker or musician.
Some of the arguments and discourses in philosophy and sociology you really needed in the law degree, and it just didn't offer. So I think even in the general knowledge and the research skills that I've gained from arts are invaluable.
UOW is about to become a whole lot smarter after the launch of a global collaboration between universities across the world. Julian reports.
UOW's Smart facility has launched a series of groundbreaking conferences on next-generation infrastructure. Global leaders will arrive in Wollongong for a major event beginning in October.
What we've discovered is that most developed societies depend upon their infrastructure, their utilities, energy, waste, water, ICT and transport. And what they fail to understand is how all of those things have to work together to deliver what we think of as a developed country. So one of the very important things is to learn from each other, and that's why I'm here in Australia, to learn from the guys in Wollongong and to help them understand what our problems are in the UK.
We need to work much harder in attracting young scientists, young academics, young policymakers to think about infrastructure as a topic, but also infrastructure as a system of things. How does roads and rail and hospitals and schools all come together to make our life better?
We haven't had to worry about the environmental impact so much, and that makes a big difference to the scale of what we need to achieve and the consequences for the food, for the health and the education of our young people.
The Wollongong Symposium will be the first of a series across Europe and the USA, with Vice-Chancellor Paul Wellings welcoming the opportunity to put the university on the global map.
I think it's part of a plan that says we've got some fantastic assets, Smart, the AIM facility on the Innovation Campus, IMRI, lots of other research labs, Early Start coming through. So we've got some global centres. I think it's beholden on us now, given the investment, is to say, how do we use them for good all over the place in lots of locations rather than just here in the Illawarra.
It tells the global community that the University of Wollongong is innovative, it is connected, and it is focused on the practical problems that concern society.
Julian Keith, UOW TV.
This year's biggest morning tea went big on sustainability, as Jacob Evans discovered.
Students flocked to the Duck Pond last week for Australia's biggest morning tea, organised by UOW Wellbeing and the Cancer Council. But what was different about this morning tea was the use of biodegradable and compostable materials for the event.
Any of the waste from this event goes straight into those bins and it's all compostable. I always find it a bit disgusting at events when no one ever knows whether anything's actually recyclable or not. The people who are making the decisions at the moment are the people who are a lot older than us, and they're not going to have to deal with the consequences. It's us that's going to have to.
While cafes such as Rush 2 are moving towards biodegradable materials, there is still massive waste coming from our outlets.
Yeah, we've got to really cut down the number of cups going to landfill. And it's just become a habit for people, I think. Plastic cups, they might be recyclable, but from an environmental perspective, it's actually better if it gets composted. We've been trying to do what's called green procurement and purchasing program. We've looked at all of the data on what we currently purchase, what the price of all those things are, and then what green alternatives there are. We really need to have a culture of no waste, but our aim is ever more.
There are still many environmental challenges on campus. With events like these leading the charge, it could mean a greener UOW. Jacob Evans, UOW TV.
The success of the St George Illawarra Dragons education program has continued, with one of the club's favourite sons completing his TAFE degree. Dragons veteran Michael Wayman says he's just focusing on getting back to his best form, as speculation mounts over his future. The former Australian representative has no plans to retire just yet, but is working to set himself up for life after footy.
Back in the day, I suppose you got to 32, 33 and thought, what am I going to do? Now we're getting to 21, 22 and blokes are starting to go to uni, do these types of things.
The Dragons are one of the NRL's most proactive clubs in educating players, with 62 contracted players completing further studies, including 16 enrolled in the Graduates of League program at UOW. The university's Feminist Society has held its first ever Consent Week. Andrea Hogan went to check it out.
Basically what we're doing is we're trying to sort of start a conversation about consent in sexual relationships. So around 1 in 5 women is sexually assaulted in Australia. So we're actually trying to sort of start a conversation amongst students and start talking about sexual kind of situations and how to make them feel kind of more safe for everyone involved. I think that students particularly are kind of like an age demographic that are affected by sexual assault, particularly when you're talking about stuff like date rape and acquaintance rape. And so I think having an event like this on campus is really important, especially because it's probably a good place to start talking to people and kind of getting that conversation happening.
I think it's important to have a consent week because a lot of people don't realise that a person is not necessarily consenting just because they don't expressly say no. Sometimes people can be intimidated into having sex, or they feel that they just don't have another choice, or they're scared, and I think people need to be more conscious of that.
It's week 11 and our major assessments are rolling in. As part of the Good Life series, students are being told how to manage stress, and chocolate features.
Over the next few weeks, as you come into exam time, you really need to be looking at things like eating properly, and a good diet. And when you're really about to blow your valve and you can't just cope any longer, there are a number of quick fixes. Getting out and going for a walk, having a talk with a friend, getting in touch with nature, going out to the garden, laughing, crying, singing at the top of your lungs. All of these can download stress very quickly. Chocolate is a quick fix. It's a quick fix. It's not the only quick fix, but many people find it quite helpful. It's got calories in it, which release the endorphins. It's got a bit of caffeine in it, which will lift the mood. It's got phenylethylamine in it, which is a nice feel-good chemical, and it's got a bit of antiplatelet aggregation activity as well. So all those things are a bit of a plus.
Ever wanted to go to uni to study Batman? Our On The Spot team gets you to decide your dream degree. And that's the update. I'm Alyssa Martin. Have a great week.